يا ابو تراب الطيب، حتى نارك جنة، حتى نارك جنة. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الأسد، ودنا الحرية. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الأسد، ودنا الحرية. يا ويلي ويلي يا درعا، يا ورد مضوي بالشمعة، صرنا نهتف لي كل جمعة والنادي بالسلمية. يا ويلي ويلي يا حماه، أرض الكرامة من السماء، شبابك يفهم عالوما، حيوا شباب السلمية. مع بعض عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الأسد، عالهدى لك يابا. ملهم. يا ويلي ويلي يا بني ياس، ضربوا نسوانا بالرصاص، ورجال البيضة ما تنداس، حيوا شباب. يا ويلي ويلي يا حمص، أرض الشهادة وأرض العز، في باب سباعك رجال وناس، حيوا الوعر والخالدية. عالهدى لك يابا. الموسيقى أعلى علي الموسيقى. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الأسد، ودنا الحرية. ويلي ويلي دير الزار، فورتك عاذب ما يغار، ورشوا عالثورة بخور، حيوا شباب البوك مالية. يا ويلي ويلي يا إدلب، غير الحرية ما منحب، ثورتنا شعلي ورح بتشب، وتزلزل أرض البعثية. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الأسد، ودنا الحرية. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الأسد، ودنا الحرية. يا ويلي ويلي يا جبلة، حبك غالي قلبي، أمواج البحر تندهلي، ودنا نحيي اللاذقية. يا ويلي ويلي يا ميدان، يا شوكي بحل النظام، الله محييكم أهل الشام، وتحيا بلادك سوريا. ملهم. وقف. طيب شو رايكم نعمل هيك؟ بدي اياها بصوتكم بدون مايك. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ما ودنا حكم الاسد، ودنا الحريه. عالهدى لك يابا، عالهدى ليا، ان شاء الله. ملهم. صوت الموسيقى كتير واطي عندي بالمونيتور. ملهم لو في مجال حبيبي. طيب من الأغاني كمان اللي قالوها الثوار ببداية الثورة ولليوم ولآخر يوم لحتى يسقط الأسد. يلا. تمام. قبلها اوه صح صح. طيب لا هي ممكن بس شوي توطي الريفرب عندي بالمونيتور كثير عالي، لو اذا في مجال. تشيك. شدوا الهمة. يلا. شدوا لهم قوية، سوا بتنده على حرية يا سورية. هلا 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 هلا، دم الشهداء أغلى راية يا سوري، اصرخ بالعالي يا وطننا. هلا 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 هلا، بديت ثورتنا من درعا ونتظاهر كل يوم وجمعة يا حوراني. هلا 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 هلا، ميدانو كل ريف الشام شمينا ما راح تنضام يا سوري. هلا 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 هلا، يلا شدوا سوا بتنده ويا سوري. هلا 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 هلا، الديرية وفزعة يا رجال، يا محلى فرات لب كمال يا جزيرتنا. هلا 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 هلا، لك ثورة وحدة تهز بلادي، الكردي نادي آزادي يا سوريا. هلا 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 هلا، مع بعض سوا بتنده ويا سوري. هلا 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 هلا، ريفك ينده على المدينة يا حلبي، حريتك زيني يا حلبي. هلا 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 هلا، جسرك جبلك والمعرة حرة يا إدلب يا خضرة وعالحرية. هلا 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 هلا، يلا مع بعض لهم سوا بتندى ويا سوري. هلا 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 هلا، إلا الدقية موجك عم يحلى، بنياس وطرطوس وجبلة يا بحارة. هلا هلا لك هلا هلا، وين أهل حما؟ ام الشهداء والمآسي ساحتها تزغرد للعاصي يا حموية. هلا 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 هلا، يلا صوتكن ادوا لهم سوا رب تندى يا سورية. هلا، وين أهل حمص؟ اسمك نجم الثورة صاير، ارفع راسك حمص وساير عالحرية. هلا هلا وهلا هلا هيح من حمص عاصمة الثورة، رح تبقي يا عدية حرة يا حمصية. هلا 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 يلا انتو. ثورة بتندى يا سورية. هلا هلا دم الشهداء أغلى راية يا سوري. اصرخ بالعالي يا وطننا. هلا 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 هلا. شكرا. الله يسلمك. أول وحدة كانت. ملهم، إذا في مجال باليو اس بي موطني. موطني موطني، الجلال والجمال والسنا والبهاء في رباك في رباك، والحياة والنجاة والهناء والرجاء في هواك في هواك. هل أراك سالما منعما وغانما مكرما، سالما منعما وغانما مكرما. هل أراك في علاك تبلغ سيماك، تبلغ سيماك. موطني موطني. موطني موطني، الجلال والجمال والسناء والبهاء في رباك في رباك، والحياة والنجاة والهناء والرجاء في هواك في هواك. هل أراك سالما منعما وغانما مكرما، سالما هل أراك في علاك تبلغ سماك، تبلغ سماك. موطني موطني. الشباب لن يكل همه أن تستقل أو يبيد نستقي من الردى ولن نكون للأسد كالعبيد لا نريد ذلنا المؤبدا وعيشنا المنكدا ذلنا المؤبدا وعيشنا المنكدا لا نريد بل نعيد مجدنا التليد موطني موطني. موطني الحسام واليراع لا الكلام والنزاع رمزنا مجدنا وعهدنا وواجب من الوفاء يهزنا عزنا غاية تشرف وراية ترفرف غاية تشرف وراية ترفرف يا هناك في علاك قاهرا عداك موطني شكرا. منصورين إن شاء الله بإذن الله.
Wasfi Maserani, everybody! Blows me away every single time. I don't understand how you could have that beautiful and large a voice. It's just beautiful and wonderful, and thank you for being here, Wasfi. Thank you. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful trio of musicians who are going to come up here. Mr. Muath Idris is the singer and the oud player who's going to take us on a journey through different parts of Syria with his music. And I'd like to also say that this is the man who is the first ever to record the United States national anthem in Arabic. It's beautiful, and you can check it out on YouTube. I think it's a wonderful accomplishment. Please welcome to the stage Muath Idris. They might need a minute to get set up.
مرحبا، مساء الخير جميعا. إن شاء الله بنجتمع دائما وسوريا بتكون بحال أحسن يا رب. قولوا آمين. نرجع لبلادنا كلنا بوضع أفضل يا رب. خلصنا من الظلم. هنغني لكم أغنية وبعدين نرجع للعود وبنرجع مرة ثانية للغنى. أمان أمان. حجاز والهام. I don't know what is it. What's wrong? Okay, you're good now. Is it? Yeah.
And they what?
Yeah. We're here. Huh? طب قول يلا. ريفيرب عالي.
عملوا ريست والله.
ملهم. Can you check the sound, please? سوري وللسما عليت سوري سوري وللسما عليت سوري يا بلدي على الأحزان سوري مهما ناخد جنسيات بفتخر الأصل سوري نعم الأصل ونعم النسايب ماماي أوف 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 سوري وما بركع إلا المين إلا بس لربنا وسوري وما بركع إلا بس لربي هينا سوري وما بركع إلا بس لربنا أمان 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 يا يابا يا من بحبه جريت بحور من عيني لا ضل أهواك ما زالت ترى عيني جريت بحور من عيني لا ظل أهواك، ما زالت ترى عيني وحياة من أنزل الأمطار من عيني. يابا لا أعيش يابا ما حيد عن عشرتك لو يحرقوني بنار، يابا ما حيد عن عشرتك لو يحرقوني بنار، يابا ما حيد عن عشرتك لو يحرقوني بنار. ونحاشك يوم الحشر أو مس جسمك نار، لا طفي نار جسمك من دمع عيني عيني عيني. مع بعض يلا نرفع الصوت شوي لو سمحت، صوت نشمع في صوتي شوي. ابعت لي جواب 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 وطمني، صوتي صوتي ولو ان مو العود صوتي عتاب عتاب. ابعت لي جواب 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 وطمني، عتاب لا تحرمني. ابعت لي جواب 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 وطمني. غيابك طال وبستنى وقلبك بال تتهنى، غيابك طال وبستنى وقلبك مال تتهنى. إن كنت هويت ونسيتني وعليا جنيت مرعتني، إن كنت هويت ونسيتني وعليا جنيت مرعتني، إن كنت هويت ونسيتني وعليا جنيت ومرعتني، إن كنت هويت ونسيتني وعليا جنيت مرعتني. ابعت لي جواب ابعت لي جواب ابعت لي جواب 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 وطمني. ابعت لي جواب 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 وطمني. Thank you. Thank you. إن شاء الله صحة. أمان 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 يا يابا. طرقت باب الرجا والناس قد رقدوا، وقمت أشكو إلى مولاي ما أجد، وقلت يا أملي في كل نائبة، ويا من عليه لكشف الضر أعتمد. أشكو إليك يا الله، أشكو إليك يا الله أمورا أنت تعلمها، ما لي على حملها صبر ولا جلد. فاغفر لي يا الله، فاغفر لي يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله، يا خير من مدت إليه يدو. اجا شحد على باب الدار، قالت له الحلوة على الله. اجا شحد على باب الدار، قالت له الحلوة على الله. قال لها يا خيط مالي شحات، عطيني بوسة دخيل الله، يا عيني عطيني بوسة دخيل الناس على النبعة. اجا المحبوب صرنا تسعة، او كنا ستة على صاعت رياضيات. واجا المحبوب صرنا سبعة، قال بوسة وعطيته حرام بوسة وعطيته. قلت له حلال يوم الجمعة، يا عيني قلت له حلال يوم يلا زعفولة. يا غصين الباب، انتو والله احلى الناس في نظري، جل من سواك يا قمري يا ليل. يا ليل يا ليل. Thank you so much. مبسوطين؟ That's the bottom line. أهلا وسهلا. زقفة لهالفرقة الموسيقية الحلوة. أستاذ مهند دلاش. علي أبو هاني. Thank you so much. بحبك حب مش مألوف. بحبك يا سوريا حب مش مألوف. لا بينحكى ولا بينوصف بحروف. وقديش مروا عالدهر عشاق متل حب الدهر ما بيشوف عيني. حبك عطاني جناح يا سوريا حتى طير. وقلبك وترابك عمل معروف حبني كتير كتير. يما غمريني وشو ما صار يصير. يما فداك اقتليني وكملي المعروف. أوف 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 يابا. عيونك بلون الشمس وهي عم تغيب. وصوتك بهمس الحب نغمة عندليب. صوتك يقبرون خدودك بلون الشمس وهي عم تغيب، وصوتك بهمس الحب نغمة عندليب، وما زال بالدنيا في شي اسمه نصيب، وما زال صعب العالم بحسنك يجيب. رح انجبر اعمل زنودي غيبتين ولفك مثل ما الكون بيلف المغيب يا يابا. يا شادي الألحان أسمعنا، يا شادي الألحان حافظينا أسمعنا لا تلعي. انتوا النجوم اليوم. هي اسمعنا يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل يلا يا شادي الألحان اسمعنا، يا شادي الألحان اسمعنا رنات الكردان يا لالي يا لالا يا لالي رنات العيدان هي اسمعنا يا لالي يا لا يا لا يا لا يا لا يا لالي. اسمع I really don't like to disturb you, interrupt you, but we're gonna sing something very unique now. حنقول خمرة الحب اسقنيها. أهل الشام زعلوا، قلبت له حلبي خيو، إيش بك؟ إيش بك خيتو؟ عم ترمينا بحجارك. المشكلة إني جبلاوي ضايع، لا هدول معترفين فيه لا هدول معترفين فيه. خمرة الحب اسقنيها، هم قلبي تنسني. خمرة الحب اسقنيها، هم قلبي تنسني. عيشة لا حب فيها، جدول لما فينا، جدول لما فينا، لا لا جدول لما فينا. ربة الوجه الصبوحي، يا ربة الوجه الصبوحي، يا ربة الوجه الصبوحي، يا 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 ربة الوجه الصبوحي، يا ربة الوجه الصبوحي، يا 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 ربة الوجه الصبوحي. أنت عنوان الأمل، أسكري أسكري باللثم روحي، يا روحي، خمرة الروح 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 القبل، خمرة الروح القبل، خمرة الروح القبل. انت جودي فصليني صليني صليني انت جودي فصليني انت جودي فصليني صليني يا عيني صليني يا روحي والنبي انت جودي فصليني أسوة بالعاشقين أو تظني فاندبيني في ظلال يا سمين لا 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 انت جودي فصليني أسوة بالعاشقين أو تظني فاندبيني في ظلال الياسمين في ظلال الياسمين لا 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 في ظلال الياسمين في ظلال الياسمين. Thank you. That's it? Okay. Thank you so much. Long live Syria. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the dinner. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Muath Idris, everybody. That was awesome. That rocked. Got me dancing. All right, so everyone, thank you. That concludes our concert, and that means dinner's coming out, the main course. And I'd like to invite all the musicians to the stage, and all our artists from tonight to the stage, and all our poets from tonight to the stage, please, so we can all recognize you. Suhair Sabai, Etab Hrieb, Nada Ode, Mark Nelson, Sana Khatib, Miriam Abu Ghazala, Wasfi Masrani. No. Here we are, everybody. Come on, Wasfi. Suhair. She's right there. Do we have everybody? All our painters, sketch artists, poets, musicians. Thank you to every one of you on stage for making tonight possible. Thank you. Please give it up for these people, please. Here's to Syrian culture, Syrian music, Syrian art, Syrian poetry, Syrian and Americans coming together. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Let's enjoy our dinner. And Wasfi, it seemed like you want to do something?
Yes, I have a special request from my friend.
We have a special request for Wasfi.
Yeah. My way. They want me to sing it. طيب أنا طلب مني صديق غني له أغنية بالإنجليزي لفرانك سيناترا. موجودة عندك؟ موجودة على
وصفي شو اسم التراك؟
عد My Way. Check. Okay. 1, 2. One, two, check, check, test. One, 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 two. Okay. في the effect موجود؟ Yes. Go. وي. ولو بتوطي شوي الصوت ملهم كل هاي وشوي قوي صوت الميوزك. Thank you. تمام تمام اوكي عيد يلا تمام عيدها And now the end's near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I say clear, I stay my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and saw it through without exemption. I played each other's card, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times I'm sure to know when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man
What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the one of what who kneels. The record shows I took the blow and did it my way.
Thank you.
Yes, it was my way.
Thank you.
One more time for Wasfi. So happy he could be here, coming all the way from Cali to be with us tonight. I want to take a special moment to recognize someone in the audience here, one of our artists. He and I have a new friendship. We hadn't met before this, and he is the man responsible for these incredible photographs of Syria's history and culture. Mr. Saad Fanza, will you please come up to the stage? Yes. Sorry to interrupt your meal, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, he entrusted me with his photographs. He sent them to me, and I worked, my father is a photographer, and we worked with a printer in Connecticut and made the prints, and we talked almost every day. And I can say we're proud that we were able to bring you these printed, framed photographs of some of Syria's greatest locations and wonders, and some of those places on the wall back there are no longer in Syria. They've been destroyed. But because of documentary photography from Saad, we preserve them. So please take time after dinner to view the photographs. It's a very special collection. It'll be up through tomorrow, and I just want to give a special thank you to Mr. Saad Fanza.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone. We have guests from everywhere and flew from everywhere, but we do have a special guest with us today. You can't hear me? Hello? Now, okay. Good evening, everyone. And we have so many guests today. No, I don't sing. We have so many guests that came from all over United States, some from overseas. So we thank everyone who joined us tonight. And we do have a special guest with us. He's sitting here with most people. He joined us early on. And I'm sure the music really probably hurt his ears. But let me tell you, some of the rhythm is actually a Turkish rhythm too. So I'm sure you got some of the rhythm, right? Mr. Ece, Mr. Bekir Ece is from the Counselor of the Turkish Embassy, and everyone here. As all of you know, we can't thank Turkey enough for their hospitality and how wonderful of host has been for millions of Syrians. And every chance we get, we always thank them and we appreciate them. And they are our partners. They've been with us from day one. And we sincerely thank you from the bottom of our heart. And thank you for joining us tonight and celebrating with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine, definitely. And I have the most difficult task, I believe, right now. After powerful music, beautiful songs, and during delightful dinner, right now I'm going to speak. Bear with me, please, and definitely that will be too short. I was thinking about how to address this beautiful audience. You know, when we are going to start speeches, we say, for instance, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few seconds ago, when I was listening to the music and the lyrics, it just came up to my mind that I should start with saying, dear neighbors, because that's how we feel, that is how we hear, that is how it tastes, the food, the poet that we read, the music that we hear. I mean, this is as if I'm in Turkey. This is as if we are in the same city, in the same town, and we are feeling the same emotions. So actually, I'm very thankful for being here, for being invited. It's an honor, but also it makes me feel home. So thank you so much. And I think you are doing a great job, because recalling revolutions is not an easy job. Making them happen is even more difficult. But enjoying when having a revolution is even the subtlest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I think this is the vibe that we always feel. I've been working with Syrian friends, Syrian colleagues, and Syrian neighbors for the last decade. I can only feel that this neighborhood, this relationship will definitely endure. And just, again, reminds me of the Prophet Muhammad once he said, peace be upon him, he or she is not a true believer who eats his or her fill, who sleeps tight, while his or her neighbor goes hungry. So that is the basic, ultimate motive that my country has since the outset, while trying to help alleviate the sufferings of all Syrian sisters and brothers. I'm not going to share the simple lines or speaking points, obviously, but I just would like to mention some figures. I think they speak for themselves. 4 million Syrians that we are doing our best to host in my country. 5 million Syrians in northern Syria that we are doing our best to look after. 540,000 babies were born in my country, Syrian babies, for the last decade. 900 schools that we rebuilt or constructed, where 333,000 Syrian students are being enrolled. 11,000 teachers, 6,000 female, 5,000 male Syrian teachers. They're working in that schools right now. And 5.9 million Syrians were being treated in the hospitals and clinics that we put in the service for this neighborly relationship. So I think this is manifesting what we've been doing so far, and that will be definitely our efforts in the near future. I can only plead to you as Syrian Americans that please do not let Syrians in Syria feel abandoned. Please engage with them. Please interact with them. They need your voice. They need your support. And as Turkey, we are going to do our best to facilitate that engagement, that interaction, and thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Um, Assalamu alaikum. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing. I lost my voice. I was asked actually to present this special session, Yasser and Wael, to recognize some of our friends who stood with us for the past 11 years without having any connection to Syria. They're not married to Syrians. They've never been in Syria. They wish. Yeah. But they had this connection to the suffering of the Syrian people. And they've been with us in rallies. They've been with us in meetings within the United Nations. They produced movies. They produced plays. They lobbied in the churches and the synagogues about Syria. They spoke with their networks. They helped Syrians. They donated to the Syrian cause tens of thousands of dollars. And they're faith leaders. They have a huge network of faith communities who they listen to. It is very important as Syrian Americans, as a small community, to have your friends with you. Today, Dr. Conrad Fisher showed me the video of President Bush and President Clinton going to Chicago today to the Ukrainian church and supporting the Ukrainian community in what they're doing, in what's happening in Ukraine. We've never had a president who came to the Syrian community. In the last 11 years, we never had a president or first lady who came to our community and showing support. We need more friends. So today, it's my pleasure to present a special award, a symbolic award, to 3 friends of the Syrian community, Dr. Conrad Fisher, Dr. Nicholas Sui, and Brother Greg, or Reverend Greg Livingston. Please come forward. By the way, I'm wearing yellow and blue, which is the colors of the Ukrainian flag. I was in Ukraine. Tomorrow we have a special session on Ukraine at 2:45. Please be there. We will have members of the Ukrainian communities speaking, and also a coordinator in Lviv, Ukraine, speaking to us from inside Ukraine. So please be there. And also we have Nicholas Sui. So it is very important. I cannot tell you how important it is that to be on the same page on this issue. Please focus with me here. What happened in Syria is a prelude to the Russian war on Ukraine. It's very important to repeat that. Every time you meet with anyone, with the policymakers, you need to tell them that the lack of policies on Syria, the failure of our policies on Syria, the lack of accountability on mass murders, human rights violations, crimes against humanity, the fact that Putin bombed 580 hospitals in Syria and killed 930 doctors, and put communities under siege, and allowed Assad to use chemical weapons 330 times. That's why we have the war on Ukraine. That will lead to more displacement of the population than what happened in Syria. We had half of the population in Syria were displaced because of the brutality of the Assad regime and its supporter, Iran and Russia. And now it's happening the same on the watch of the same administration that was present when Obama was the president when the Syrian crisis started. It is very important to connect the dot. It is very spontaneous to us. It's very normal to say, of course, you allowed this to happen in Syria and it's happening in Ukraine. Every Syrian know it. These gentlemen know it, but our policymakers don't know it. So make sure to remind them when you meet with them that you allowed this to happen in Syria for 11 years. Now it's haunting us in Ukraine, and it will come to destabilize the whole European Union. So I hope that this message is clear. It is more powerful if it came from us. So I'm going to ask each of our friends, these faith leaders, to speak to you. I'm going to ask actually Reverend Greg Livingston at the end to sing with us, and to teach us one part of the history of this country that we adopted, which that we shall overcome. Okay, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. And maybe we can start with Dr. Conrad Fisher, and then Nicholas Sui, and then Greg Livingston.
How do we know when we meet the friends of our own souls? I don't spend a lot of time with Zahir. He doesn't eat dinner in my house. But when we recognize the light of God that radiates through other human beings, that reflects our own goodness, you see, when we see something in others that we admire, it is a reflection of the goodness in our own selves. Like those people who say, that person's so suspicious, I don't trust them. They're really talking about their own dishonesty. So it is a wonderful beauty to have reflected the light of God, reflected upon ourselves each moment. And the reason he brings us here is because we're crying out to the Lord our God to say that each child who has died, each person who's suffering and starving in a basement and has for these many years, that who feels alone, that we cast out of our abundance a moment. 3 weeks ago, I was asked to preach on the Day of Judgment. And you know, the Day of Judgment in the Christian Bible be like, you better believe in Jesus, you're going to go to hell. It actually doesn't say that. Did you know that? It actually doesn't say that. It doesn't say if you don't believe in me, if you don't subscribe to my channel, if you don't say Jesus is the one true way, you're going to be doomed. It actually doesn't say that. It doesn't say that in the Christian Bible. What it actually says is, did you take care of people who were in prison? Did you clothe people who were cold? Did you feed people who were hungry? And did you take care of sick people? So it says on Yom Adin that we'll be judged based on, did you pass someone the butter tonight? Did you, look, it's better to laugh than to cry, because if we really absorbed all of the horror, Ethiopia, civil war, Yemen, no attention. My sister-in-law, my brother, married a Yemenite Jew who left when she was a child to give her her green card because she was his best friend. And then they stayed together after she got the green card. Yeah. So all of these places don't get the attention. But if we can this night ask all that is sacred and all that is holy and all that is pure in the sight of God to help relieve the suffering and prevent the death of one person this evening, we ask in the name, Alhamdulillah, Inshallah, in the name of God, I hope this happens.
Thank you, Zahir. Syria is in crisis. It's been in crisis for a long time. It's a tragedy. But in crisis, there is opportunity. I want to tell you something. Of the 850 conflicts that have happened in the past 200 years, 95% of them started within 10 years of a political crisis. You can see it in Ukraine. In 2004, there was a revolution. 10 years later, 2014, there was another one. And within 10 years, there's this war. In 2001, 10 years before the Syrian crisis began, 10 years before the Arab Spring began, there was a massive political crisis in the Middle East with the American invasion. 95% of conflicts happen after a crisis. And Syria is in crisis now. So it could be 10 years from now, we'll see even worse war than we're seeing now. But there is hope in crisis. 3/4 of all conflicts enduring conflicts that have ended also have ended within 10 years of a political crisis. So I say Syria is in crisis, but that means there is opportunity. Opportunity for change, for newness. That change will only come if we can see the humanity in one another. I am not Syrian, but 11 years ago I fell in love with the Syrian people. I didn't do it because I'm Syrian. I didn't do it because of my race, my ethnicity, not because I share a language with you or a religion. I did it because we share humanity. So I hope you remember this image of a white American from the Russian church with a red beard standing before you, who loves Syria because of our shared humanity. And remember that with one another. Anytime that you see another Syrian with a different race or ethnicity or language or religion, remember your humanity. Thank you.
I'm ready.
First, I want to thank you for this award. Thank you all for this award. I didn't expect this. This is great. And I'm so glad that my friend and brother made it back safely from the Ukraine. Can we give Dr. Zahir Salul a big hand, everybody? Zahir is my hero, and I mean that. I really do. He's crazy. I love him dearly. And that's right. Humsies? Yeah. He said all Humsies are crazy. I'm not from Homs, but I'm from the hood. I'm crazy too. Very smart. One of your neighbors, obviously. Yeah. I just want to say this. You know, I met Dr. Salul probably 10, 11 years ago. I was doing work in Chicago with the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago. And there was a fundraiser, and a good friend of ours, Dr. George Harris, had invited me. And so we were at the table together. He was there at the table. And so we were talking, and he was telling me that Damascus had become the amputation capital of the world, that they were doing 300 amputations a day there without anesthesia because Assad would not allow the Red Cross in. When I heard that, it literally blew me away. This wasn't the Civil War. At least they would give you, some alcohol or something, to help deaden the pain. But these people were just being, had to have amputations because of IEDs and everything. And I began to look more into it and talk more, and we became friends. And the thing about it, part of what I do is that I've learned to look at people before I look at their labels. And alleviating suffering for me is core to me being a human being. And as I got to know Zahir and the places he would go and the things that he would do, I just found that so agreeable. His wife was talking this morning about when I got arrested out at O'Hare Field. And I want to say this to you in terms of allies. Many times you might have to find people who are not like you to be your allies. Because, oh yes, and that is not a negative criticism. Because we were talking in the hall, what happens many times is that when you are under oppression, when you are being assaulted, those that are doing it have the psychological skills to instill fear. So many times those that you think would help you won't help you because they've been conditioned to be afraid. And that anytime they decide to step out or do something, something's going to happen. Please do me a favor. Don't criticize them. Don't complain. Just do you. Do your thing. Do the best that you can do. In other words, don't talk, model. And I have to say, as many here, but I know this man, he models that. He doesn't complain about anybody else, what they don't do or what they should do. He leads. And by leading, he creates avenues of followership. And I am so grateful to you, brother, for all that you do. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He's incredible. And his family. And his family. And let me say this before I try to sing, so don't expect much. One of the thoughts that has really been in my soul's echo chamber, as it were, just resonating back and forth, is that Assad, Vladimir Putin, Assad didn't ask anybody's permission to commit genocide on his own people. Putin did not seek anyone's permission to start a war. We should learn from that. Just as neither of them asked permission to commit these atrocities, we don't need to ask permission to stop them. You understand? Don't let individuals who don't have skin in the game, or anything to lose, determine your destiny. Because I'm sitting here listening to Syrians talk about people who are literally dying. Not figuratively, literally dying. There are people who don't have skin in the game. They don't feel it the same way you do. They don't feel the same urgency that you do because you got skin in the game. You have family, friends, everything. We don't need anybody's permission to stop him. And one last thing, I'm going to say this to get in trouble, but I'm with the Syrians. What's up, you know? One of the persons when I went to seminary that I really was inspired by was a man named Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Dietrich was a German Lutheran pastor, 20s, 30s, 1920s, 30s. And so he came to America to go to Union Theological Seminary. And he goes there. He's a good Lutheran. But then he starts attending Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem. Abyssinian Baptist Church was pastored by the Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Sr. His son went on to become the great congressman in Harlem. And what Adam Clayton Powell Sr. would do after he would preach, he would walk out the pulpit in his preaching robe with his church, and they had over 20,000 members. They were the largest church in America, a black church in Harlem. And they would pass out canned goods and diapers and everything else to the neighborhood. And Dietrich started going there, and he saw the faith of these black people in the midst of a country, America, that was not only a democracy and a meritocracy, but was also a pigmentocracy and a colortocracy that came out of a slaveocracy. And so he saw how their faith, I said it earlier today, politics negotiates the possible, but faith negotiates the impossible. He saw how their faith gave them the will and the spirit to fight. And then he goes on a gospel tour in the South to these black churches. Because now his propositional revelation is being challenged, right? Just putting stuff on paper, that's fine, we need paper. But like I said earlier today, it is only when the paper becomes flesh and the ink becomes blood that something really begins to happen, right? So now he does that, goes back to Germany. You know, he has this famous treaty, book on cheap grace. And that, look, we've tried to sanitize this religion when it's really a bloody thing. And as we said today, there is no such thing as an unbloody birth. You cannot sanitize your freedom. You cannot sterilize your liberation. There has to be some broken bones, some bumps, some bruises, some cuts, sleepless nights, misunderstandings, arguments, fights. Because freedom It's free, but it ain't cheap. And so Bonhoeffer unites with folk, gets involved, and then the pastor, I like this part, man. The pastor gets together with some folk and they plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler. 2 weeks before the end of the war, Bonhoeffer is executed. He's caught and executed. But there are Bonhoeffer societies all over the world. I wish all the faith people, were like Bonhoeffer. I wish all the faith people were like Gandhi. I wish all the faith people were like Fannie Lou Hamer, who said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I wish all the faith people could realize you can have Malcolm X on one side, Martin King on the other side, Nation of Islam on one side, Christianity on the other side, separatism on one side, integrationism on the other side, and guess what? Your enemy don't care what you believe. Shot them both in the head. So while you're trying to get people's approval to give you permission to be free, what they care about you, can I just be plain with you? They don't care nothing about you. But if you care about yourself, if you care about the one sitting next to you, if you love your enemy, any punk can love a friend, but it takes a champion to love their enemies. You're going to have enemies. If you ain't got no enemies, you ain't doing nothing. But that's just life. Don't let that stop you. Get back on the field. Run the ball. Run the ball. And guess what? Somebody is supposed to try to stop you. Stop getting upset when people start trying to stop you. Political physics are every action has an opposite action. That's just the way it is. So be better, bolder, sharper, stronger. Be the best you can be and get your butt back in the game. All right, now do me a favor. Everyone stand to your feet if you would. Muhammad Zahir Salou got me up here. Okay, just grab your neighbor by the hand. This is how civil rights movement does it. You grab your neighbor by the hand. You know what I'm saying? We had all these great singers up here, and my Czech brother singing Frank Sinatra, old Blue Eyes, you know? New York, New York. We've had a rough couple of years, everybody. And think about it. If you're still here, that means something. If you can survive all that, that means something. That means our work is not done. We have much to do. So the song he asked me up here to sing is, We Shall Overcome Someday. Okay, I'm going to try this. All right, everybody? We shall overcome. Now grab it. Now rock with me now. Come on now. Y'all from the Middle East. So come on. This ain't Idaho. Come on now. Over. 1, 2, 3. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Someday. Yeah. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe. Come on, everybody. We shall overcome someday. I'm going to have to lead this, okay? We shall all be free. We shall all be free. Shall all be free. I'm singing too high, man. They, oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall all be free. Last one. Syria shall be free. Syria shall be free. Syria shall be free. Syria shall be free someday. Oh. heart. I do believe that Syria shall be free someday. When I say Syria, you say freedom. Syria. Syria. When I say Syria, you say freedom. Syria. Syria. When I say war, you say stop. War. 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 When I say war, you say stop. War. War. When I say Assad, you say go. Assad. 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 Let me hear you scream.
By the way, it's amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Reverend. The award actually is one of the pictures from Syria, the cradle of civilization. So Reverend Conrad, Nick, choose one of the pictures in the back, and this will be your award. Yeah, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all. I have good news for you. I'm an ambassador to Arab America Foundation, and April is the Arabian Culture Month in the United States of America. We got a letter from President Biden to recognize April as the Arabian Culture Month. This came with a huge effort from a lot of Syrians, so thank you so much, and congratulations.
All right, so I just need your attention. 2 minutes, and then we wrap it up. Everyone, hello. Political analyst, senior policy, Mohammed Ghanem. Okay, can just 2 minutes and we're wrapping up. So I was given this unforgiving task to, I'm going to mention some names to thank them, but I'm probably going to forget some. Hello. Hello. Can we have a lot of sugar with that cheesecake? So first, I want to thank the staff of this hotel. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's thank them. Thank the staff. Excellent. Thank you. So amazing. It's a bittersweet moment. We're wrapping up. So I do want to thank the artists and the faith leaders, I guess, in the same category. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, all the artists. I also want to thank, where's May? May and her team at Tim. Thank you so much for supporting Syria so much. I want to thank also, we have some folks with George and Assad with Citizen. Thank you so much for partnering. I want to thank, where's the SETF team? Thank you so much for everything you do for Syria. And then all the volunteers, I hope I didn't forget some folks here. Yuman, who's Yuman? Who's Yuman? And her lovely husband, Miguel, my son-in-law. All right, Jennifer, Aya, where's Aya? Is she here? Yeah, thank you. Chad probably went home. Betsy, thank you so much. She's not here. Ala, and really a bunch of people who also helped us from the Syrian Forum. Suzanne, that was... You know why I forgot Suzanne? Because she sent me the list. All right, so I also want to thank Wa'il Zayat. He is the president of Engage and a senior consultant on policy. I want to thank the entire American Coalition for Syria team, all the volunteers, all the doctors. You know the funniest thing? I'm on a call with Dr. Zeki, and you have a bunch of cardiologists, and they said, you got to take this test. You got to take this test, the calcium test. I swear to God, after that call, I had to go and schedule, ended up paying $200 for something I probably did not need. But thank you, Doctor. No, it's good. I got alhamdulillah 0, so after tonight's dinner may be different, but thank you. So you learn a lot from these doctors, so thank you, doctors. Thank you, non-doctors. And before we end, again, I do want to thank, on behalf of the American Coalition for Syria and the Syrian American community, and a lot of Syrians, I want to thank the 2 special guests. Oh, did he leave? Karsten? Did Karsten leave? Okay, so it's Karsten and also Mr. Burke with us here. They took a Friday night out of their family time and they came with us. And we want to thank them and thank the countries, the 2 countries that they represent, Germany and Turkey, for the friendship and the support they've done and they continue to do for Syria. So thank you so much on behalf of all of us. So again, we have the room till, I don't know, but be here at 8:30. We have a really amazing program tomorrow as well, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.